What is going on, baseball and gamers? It's Spencer, and today we're going to be going over the top 5 weapons in Vanguard Multiplayer. Sounds pretty great, right? If you haven't already, leave a like, subscribe, all the ones, and see how this goes. Check out the links in the description. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. And if you subscribe to me, I will shout you, yes you, the big homie out. And if not, I don't know, squeeze lemon in your eyeballs or something. Other than that, gamers, let's get into it. Okay, for our number 5 weapon, it is going to be a submachine gun, and it is the M1928, and this is actually a pretty solid weapon, but it does need some attachments. Granted, you know, I barely played with this thing, but every time I jump into multiplayer, I'm just getting absolutely on half the time with this weapon, just because everybody runs it. I mean, you just slap on some incendiary rounds, a suppressor, and just a little grip, and this thing is automatically good. All you really have to do is just level it up just a couple times, and it will kill really fast. I mean, overall, it is a really good weapon. I mean, just the stats alone, I mean, you have so much. You have a maximum of 37 damage, an 800 fire rate, and also, you know, some really good range on it as well. Just the recoil is the only negative thing about it. I would really call for it, which is a little unfortunate, but you literally just slap on a grip. Like, it's that easy. I think you gotta get it to like level 5 or something like that. It really doesn't take that long. I think by the time I leveled this weapon in game after, I was able to slap on a grip. So my complaining really for nothing. I mean, the gun all around really good. It can act sort of like an assault rifle, mainly because, well, you have a 50 round clip. I mean, half the guns in the game don't even have that, so you can expand upon that too and get an even higher clip, which, you know, it'll be a little bit slower, but just use sleight of hand at the end of the day, right? You just do that, or you can make it a smaller clip and make it even faster reload, which is really nice. But overall, this is a really fun weapon. Plus, it's the freaking Tommy gun. I mean, this has been in like what, every World War II game ever in existence. It's a really fun one, and in this game they actually made it good and not absolute caca water. So yeah, that's it for number 5. Our number 4 spot, we have the STG, and if you weren't expecting to see this weapon on this list, probably something wrong with you. I mean, the STG is like probably one of the most iconic World War II weapons. I mean, everyone's seen this in like movies, like posters, all of it. Okay, the weapon's been everywhere. This thing's been ran through like a girl in a college party train. Okay, there's just, everyone's seen this. Everyone doesn't want it anymore, but it is a good weapon. The overall damage on it is really good. I mean, the range is what really makes this thing really good, but overall, I mean, you get some high damage with it. There are a couple weapons, I believe, that have like 1 or 2 extra damage. I think the bar is the only weapon that outclasses this in damage in the assault rifle category, but I mean, you get about a 600 rate of fire, which is really good, and also it has an insane amount of range. I mean, it can be beat a little bit by like things like the bar, but those weapons are really slow, and you know, you don't really want it too much because, well, they're slow. I mean, it does have high damage, but I mean, this weapon is just a lot smoother. I mean, the recoil, as you can see right now, I mean, I have literally like a couple attachments on it. I just slapped on a little blueprint or whatever, and it works perfectly fine. And I have the sight. You don't really even have to have a sight because the iron sight looks pretty clean. And also, if you don't like it, just run incendiary rounds. I mean, I guess that goes for every single weapon in this game, but for the STG alone, I mean, it does have a lot going for it. For our number 3 spot, we have the MP40, and you know, you're probably expecting to see this too, and you might be wondering, why'd you put this over the STG? And well, first, it does more damage. I mean, it does have a little bit less range, by quite a bit actually, but you know, it's nothing really. You can change a couple rounds and make the range a little bit better, same as the barrel, but the overall, just starting, I mean, you get about around 50 damage maximum, which is absolutely insane. So you can 2-tap people with this. It has the same fire rate as the STG, and also there's a lot less recoil, at least I think. I mean, you don't even really need a grip with this thing. I just personally run a grip because, well, you know, you might as well, you know, it just gives you a little bit more action to your aim down sight time. As you can see right now, I'm absolutely just foo-fomping these people, just all over them, and I'm just killing them. I mean, it's absolutely so much fun just to use on like the shorter maps. Granted, if you do use this on like a bigger map, or maybe even Warzone when the integration comes, you're probably not gonna have that much fun, mainly because, well, it doesn't have that much range, and it is pretty good. I would recommend it on maps like this, like DOS House, but you know, the bigger maps I definitely would not recommend. But it is a overall weapon, and I think this is a pretty solid weapon that everyone can use and should use, to be honest. Now for our number 2 spot, we have the Type 100. I absolutely love this weapon. Personally, I think it is the best in the game. I think it is the most fun to play with. Everything about it, I love it. I wouldn't use it over anything. Granted, the MP40 is a little bit stronger than it, but you get about 150 more fire rate, and you're absolutely just destroying enemies. I mean, you have more range with it as well, and the recoil on it. I've never heard the Type 100 and recoil being in the same sentence. It's that good. I literally have this at like level 13 or something like that. Not even high. I don't even think I have a grip on this. I'm just using a base barrel, and it just look at that. I can just cross map people with it. It's that good. It has a 30-round clip. You can get it even higher and get even higher damage, but you know, you can just run a grip on it and it's all you need. I mean, the suppressor sounds really clean on it. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's really hard to hear against, like, if you're getting shot with it. I mean, it's really easy and fun to play with. I mean, granted, the range on it is really good. I mean, you can just tell right now, I'm not playing a very small map, I'm not playing a very giant map, but it's working really good. It just reminds me of an assault rifle, to be honest, and I think that's why I like it a lot. Plus, also, there's a nostalgia factor, but I ain't gonna let that get into it. But it is just an overall weapon that is really good, and I think you can tell just by the gameplay itself. But I think it's a pretty fair second spot. Everyone can agree with. Now, for our number 1 spot, this is the combat shotgun. Nobody can really argue with this one. I mean, I've been killed by this thing more times than I can even think of. This just, it has to go to the combat shotgun, and mainly because there's nothing bad with it. Like, you have so much damage, you have so much range. I can tell you all the stats and all that mumbo jumbo nonsense, but let's keep it real here. This gun, you really can't die with it unless you like actively just want to run out and like kill yourself, or you're just trying to run and gun. You know, you might die a couple times, but just look at the gameplay. I just sit in here for like maybe like 30 seconds, just healing, trying to collect a kill streak or two. Anybody who comes in here, I kill them. It's instant death. I mean, you run across anybody with this thing, especially on DOS House, you could cross map with this thing. It's absolutely freaking amazing. I mean, the attachments I have for it, you can have so many. You could just have like buckshot, slug shots, incendiary shots, hollow point, all of it. Like, it's all could be fit into this gun, and I mean, fast aim to sight time, good range. I mean, you could just kill so many people with it, and it just overall has a really good feeling to it. They're probably gonna nerf it. I'm gonna be straight up honest, because that's just how they are. I mean, this weapon's probably gonna get nerfed, but I mean, you know, it is pretty good, and you could even get even more than 5 rounds on it. But personally, I like running the 12 gauge shots instead of the 16, which makes it a little bit more stronger, but you could still have insane amount of damage. Hey gamers, if you made it this far, you deserve a cookie, and I love you. But I'll see you guys. Have a wonderful day. See ya.